I welcome you again to income tax class. We are in a residential status. That's the introduction to income tax. We are discussing about residential status. In the previous class, we have seen an individual assesses conditions based on which he or she will be deemed as resident and ordinarily resident, resident but not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. The four conditions we have examined means two primary conditions, two secondary conditions. Okay, those four conditions are applicable in case of a normal citizen, normal individual who is living in our country. Now you see again, I am showing you, you can see clearly an individual status is divided into four categories. Three categories: resident and ordinary resident, resident, not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. These three categories have been mentioned based on four conditions. Two primary conditions are there, two secondary conditions are there. Primary conditions, see, first of all, he should have stayed in India for a minimum period of 182 days during the previous year. Second condition is he must have been in India for a period of 60 or more days during the previous year and for a period of 365 days or more during the 4 years preceding the previous year. Okay. Then under secondary conditions, he should be a resident in India for at least 2 years. See, if a person satisfies at least one of these conditions, that person will be deemed as a resident. So he should have been a resident in India for at least a period of 2 out of 10 previous years preceding the previous year. And second condition is he should be in India for at least 730 days during the 7 years preceding the previous year. So these are the four conditions for a normal citizen. For a normal citizen who is a normal citizen in our country, in India. Okay. See, if I am repeating the summary of the residential status, how it implies. See, if a person satisfies two primary conditions and if he does not satisfy any secondary condition, then he is a non-resident. If a person satisfies no primary condition, you need not go to check secondary conditions. It implies he is a non-resident, that's all. If a person satisfies at least one of the primary conditions and two secondary conditions, he is a resident and ordinarily resident in our country. If a person satisfies only one of the primary conditions and he does not satisfy even a single secondary condition, then he is resident but not ordinarily resident. If a person satisfies only one primary condition and only one of the secondary conditions, then in that case also he is a resident but not ordinarily resident in our country. So these conditions are applicable to normal citizens in our country. But some special category persons are there. Three kinds of special category persons are there, according to which those for them you will not check primary conditions. Similarly, you will not check secondary conditions. Only 182 days, whether the person stayed in our country during the last previous year or not, you will check. That's all. Only 182 days you are going to check. So what are the three special kinds of persons we will discuss? First one is an Indian citizen leaving the country during the previous year. See, an Indian citizen who went to foreign country just for visit or for education purpose or for employment purpose. In that case, see, in the name itself, in the previous problems you must have seen. In no problem we have discussed about Indian citizen, only a person, that's all. But here it is clearly mentioned Indian citizen. Means he is a normal resident in our country, but during the previous year he visited, maybe he must have visited his parents or his relatives, or he must have gone for a field trip or for any other purpose, education purpose or for scientific purpose or for any other purpose, he must have visited a foreign country. During that year, if he stayed in our India, in our country, at least 182 days, in that case, that person is a citizen in our, that person is a deemed as a resident in our country. That's all. You will not check two primary conditions. You will not check two special conditions. Provided he is a citizen and he left for other country during the previous year. That's all. You have to check in that year only whether the person resided in our country for 182 days or not. Whether he resided here 182 days or not. That's all. You will not check additional conditions. You will not check secondary conditions or primary conditions. Only one criteria. That is, in primary conditions, first condition is there. During the last previous year, the person should have stayed in our country for 182 days. That's all. That only you will check. That's all. Secondly, another person is there, an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. The PIO you will say. A person of Indian origin visiting India during the previous year. Means who is settled in foreign country, but during the previous year, he visited India during the last year. That's all. And in that year, if he stayed in our country for 182 days, you have to check. In that case also, you will deem that person as a resident. So first one is, if an Indian citizen visited foreign country. And second one is, person of Indian origin, means his parents belong to India, but they migrated, they settled in America. During the previous year, he came back to India. He visited India, his native place or his proper place, or his country with love and affection towards India. He visited our country. So he is deemed as a person of Indian origin. He is originally an Indian, but his family settled in foreign country. So that is why he came to our country, he visited our country, and in that case also, you need not check secondary conditions. You need not check primary conditions. Only one rule, whether he stayed in our country for 182 days or not. That only you have to check. And the third one is, and third special category of person is an Indian citizen who is a member of a crew in a ship. What do you mean by crew? Can anybody say? An Indian citizen who is a member of a crew in a ship. What do you mean by crew? Or crew, you will say. Yes, please. Any response from the participants? Anybody is interested to respond to this question? See, bus means the driver needs to be there. For rail means driver needs to be there. For train, in ship and aeroplanes, whoever is going to run the ship or who is responsible for driving the aeroplane, you will call them as crew members. Okay, means they are pilots. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they are driving person. See, suppose, if you go to America in ship, sometimes if there is any problem in ocean, it takes months to go there. Suppose suddenly there is a tsunami in the ocean. The ship needs to be stopped there. When it is going to be released, when tsunami will calm down, nobody knows. The ship needs to be stayed at some point, at some place. So in that condition, the crew members, means whoever is responsible for driving the ship, or not, here ship means not only ship, but you have to take the implication for aeroplane also. So whoever is responsible for driving, that is pilot and co-pilot, and whoever are members, means organizing members in the ship, if they are Indians, you just don't go for primary conditions and secondary conditions. Only check whether the person stayed in our country for 182 days or not. That is important. That's all. If the person stayed in our country for 182 days during the previous year, you will take it for granted that he is a resident only. That's all. That is enough. So these are special category persons. I am again explaining. In case of ordinary citizens, In case of ordinary persons, 4 conditions you will apply to know whether a person is ordinary resident or resident but not ordinary resident and non-resident. For testing those 3, you will take help of 4 conditions, 2 primary conditions, 2 additional conditions. But in case of special category persons, 3 persons are categorized as special category persons under Income Tax Act. One is an Indian citizen leaving the country during the previous year. Second one is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin visiting India during the previous year. And third one, an Indian citizen who is a member of a crew in a ship. These 3 are considered as special category persons. For them, you don't check 4 conditions. 2 primary conditions, 2 additional conditions, you need not check. Only you will verify whether the person stayed in our country for 182 days or not. But please remember, dear friends, from the year 2020, this is changed to 182 days period has been changed to 120 days. Now we have to test whether a citizen who belongs to a special category in our country, whether he or she stayed in our country for 120 days or not. You have to check. But earlier to 2020, but that is in the year 2018, 19. Likewise, if you have to test means you would have tested with 182 days. But now presently the law changed. Only 120 days if he stayed in our country, then he will be deemed as a resident. That's all. Okay. So this is about residential status of an individual in case of an individual. Okay. So with this, first unit is totally finished. So I will just I will make you recall what is the syllabus in the first unit and whether we covered all or not. We have to cross check once. Okay. So for that purpose, I will just go back to the first unit and I will check it. Okay, this is not clear. Somebody mentioned, no? So I will check. Just a minute. No problem. See. In introduction, you can see direct and indirect taxes. First, we have discussed about tax, meaning of tax, origin of tax, direct and indirect taxes we have discussed. Then canons of taxation we discussed. Sir. Yes.
We can't able to see screen, sir.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. In that case, just a minute. Here, first, we will have a recap of what we have learned in the first unit. The first unit is introductory part to income tax. Okay. We have discussed direct and indirect taxes, the pros and cons, the differences between direct taxes and indirect taxes. What are the merits? What are the demerits of direct and indirect taxes? We have discussed. Then canons of taxation. Canon means what? Principle, basic principle, fundamental principle. See, who introduced this concept? Who applied this concept to taxation? I mentioned a famous economist's name. What is that person's name? Who is he?
Adam Smith.
Very good. Adam Smith. The person has introduced canons of taxation, the laws applicable to taxation, basic principles, fundamental principles. See how many he has given? How many laws he has mentioned? 4 laws he has mentioned. Four laws he has mentioned in his canons of taxation. Okay. Canon of equity, canon of equality. Likewise, he has mentioned 4, and subsequently, modern economists added some more canons to taxation that I mentioned. Okay, canon means fundamental principle, basic principle. See, in order to remember easily, I mentioned 2 E's are there, 2 C's are there, I mentioned. Canon of equality, canon of economy, 2 E's are there. Similarly, 2 C's also I mentioned. One is canon of certainty and another one is canon of convenience. These are primary canons I mentioned. Is it clear? Did you recall? Please remember, this is important question. Canons of taxation. 2 E's, 2 C's. Canon of certainty, canon of convenience, canon of equity, canon of economy. These are the primary canons, means primary principles. And secondly, next we have discussed about features of income tax in India. What are the features? Can anybody recall? What are the features? Tax is a compulsory payment. Nobody can escape. Cash tax needs to be paid in only cash. We cannot pay in any other form. Okay. Likewise, we have discussed certain features of income tax in India. Similarly, history of income tax also we have discussed. See, after which major incident in Indian history income tax was introduced? Can anybody recall?
(1857).
Very good, very good. 1857, Sipahi Mutiny, first war of Indian independence. After the incident happened, the British government was unable to control Indian freedom struggle. So in order to control freedom fighters, they required more money. So they have introduced income tax in our country. Then before independence in 1860, first income tax act was passed. Who introduced that income tax act in India?
James Williamson.
Very good. Very good.
James
Very good. Very good. That we have discussed. The various stages in our income tax act development we have witnessed. Similarly, definitions and some basic concepts of income tax we have discussed. Yes, who is assessee? Spelling you should be able to write properly. Assessee spelling. 2 S's are there, another 2 S's are there, 2 E's are there. Please see. Who is an assessee in our country? Who is an assessee in our country?
Nirmala Sitharaman.
No. See, I am not asking about our finance minister. Nirmala Sitharaman, she is our finance minister. I am not asking about it. Who is an assessee in our country? Assessee means a person who is responsible to pay tax, to pay fine, to pay interest. Or assessee is a person to whom amount is to be returned from income tax department that I mentioned. Is it correct? Did you recall?
Yes, sir.
Then who is deemed assessee? Deemed assessee means normally we are responsible to pay tax on our income only. But in some cases, we may have to pay tax for others' incomes. In our country, I mentioned, on behalf of minors, guardians will have to pay tax. Did I mention it or not?
Yes,
Parents, I also gave one example. I asked one question also. If father's income is more, mother's income is less, whose income that minor son's income will be included means the parent whose income is more, in that person's income we have to add. That I mentioned. Okay. Assessee in default. Who is an assessee in default? Assessee in default is a person who failed to pay tax in time, who failed to pay penalty in time, who failed to pay interest in time. That person is known as assessee in default. Okay. Not only that, I mentioned my principal sir is responsible for deducting tax from my income, my salary. If he does not repay the amount to the government, he is assessee in default. He is responsible to pay tax. Okay. Then we discussed about the concepts of income. See, what is income? I mentioned this concept. What is income? If I say that I have more income than you, what does it imply?
Charged by government, sir.
Income tax department, sir. Charged by.
No, I am saying about income tax. I am asking about only income. What do you mean by income?
Money.
Very
Money.
money or revenue or earnings. Okay, my earnings are more than your earnings. If I say like that, it implies I have more income than you, for the simple understanding. Okay, so income, I mentioned total income, how it comes. Okay, total income, how to sorry, after this is over. So assessing default is over. After this one is over, what we discussed, not this income. About assessment year I mentioned. About previous year I mentioned. What is assessment year? What is previous year? See, for the year 2019-20, what is the assessment year? For the year 1920, what is the assessment year?
1st April.
No, assessment year I want. This is
2021, sir.
Very good. 2021. This is assessment year. It starts on 1st April. It ends with 31st March. 31st March 2021, it will end. It will start on 1/4/2020. Then what is the previous year for the year 2019-20?
18-19, sir.
Very good. 18-19 is the previous year. We discussed all this with examples. Okay. So I am just recalling the first unit. Then next one, person. Who is a person according to Income Tax Act? Normal individual, Hindu undivided family, partnership firm, company form of organization, cooperative society, several things I mentioned under person. You just revise. Okay. Agricultural income. I mentioned 3 conditions in agricultural income. What are the three conditions? Can anybody tell? Can anybody recall what is agricultural income?
Rent or revenue.
Very good. Rent or revenue.
Income derived.
Very good.
Income from building.
Very good. Rent or revenue should have been derived from that land. Okay. Next one, that should have been used for only agricultural purpose. And thirdly, third important condition, what is it?
Income from building.
No, the land should be situated in India. Those are the 3 conditions I mentioned. Okay. So the only then that agricultural income is exempt from tax. Heads of income, how many heads are there?
5.
What are they?
5.
What are they?
Salary.
Income from salaries.
Income from salary.
Income from house property.
Income from house property.
Income from profits and gains of business profession.
Very good. Incomes of
Profits and
capital
capital
gains of
Income from capital gains.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Next one. Another thing also, another aspect also we discussed. What is that? All the 5 heads are over, no? Okay. See, profits or gains of business or profession. Next is capital gains and income from other sources. These 5 heads will be under the